Welcome to day 169. We're in 2 Kings and 2 Chronicles again. Again, today is mostly just about the historical part and understanding the kings. And so if you have your lists out or if you have a diagram out of all the kings, let me just kind of explain a few things as we get going. Joash becomes king, but what you need to understand is you have Athaliah, or Athaliah, however you want to pronounce it, who was the mother of Ahaziah. Jehu of Israel came in and killed everybody. He killed Joram and Ahaziah and all the descendants. And Athaliah is Ahaziah's mother. And she's ruling in Judah for 6 years, 7 years, 7 years basically. And she goes to kill all the sons of let me see if I got this here. Chapter 11. When Athaliah, the mother of King Ahaziah of Judah, learned that her son was dead, she began to destroy the rest of the royal family. But Ahaziah's sister Jehosheba, the daughter of King Jehoram, took Ahaziah's infant son Joash and stole him away from the rest of the king's children. Okay, so, which is strange that Athaliah would want to kill the king's children. But she wanted the rule, so power hungry, greed. That's pretty much what destroys everybody. It's destroyed Israel forever, not forever, for a long time, and destroys country after country. And that's what's happening here. And that's part of this whole thing is the description of how we fall and the things that we fall to. If we don't have someone else helping us, God, and praying to Him and having Him come in and help us, and the Holy Spirit guiding us, we fall, we fail, we tend to go those ways. We do have goodness. Jehu was a fairly good king. Joash, for 40 years, he's reigning and is fairly good king. But then, if you read your stuff, ends doing something horrible. So Jehoiada is the priest who kind of weans Joash and learns him the ways of being a good king because he's the priest, he's the Levite. And so Joash has a great reign of 40 years. Jehu dies 13 years after Joash was king. So Jehu was the Israelite king, and Judah's queen was Athaliah for 6-7 years, and Joash at 7 years old becomes king. They kill Athaliah. Okay, so Jehu and Joash are reigning together. Eventually Jehu dies 20 years into it, which is 13 years into Joash's reign. And so Joash is 20 years old. Jehoahaz in Israel is Jehu's son. He becomes king. Okay, so that's kind of the story of how that all works out. But here's the thing, Zechariah, not the prophet Zechariah that's in our book here, but another prophet Zechariah, God raises up and tells everybody after Jehoiada dies, the Levitical priest dies, says, hey, God's gonna take away your country from you and all the bad things you're doing. You've withdrawn from him, so he's withdrawn from you. So in 2 Chronicles 24, verse 20, then the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, son of Jehoiada the priest. He stood before the people and said, this is what God says. Why do you disobey the Lord's commands and keep yourselves from prospering? You have abandoned the Lord, and now he has abandoned you. And verse 22, that was how King Joash repaid Jehoiada for his loyalty. What happened? In verse 21, the leaders plotted to kill Zechariah, and King Joash ordered that they stone him to death. So after 40 years, not 40 years, but at the end of his reign, Jehoiada dies, and he kills Zechariah for saying such horrible things. He did pleasing things for the Lord, and at the end, he killed Jehoiada. What a horrible thing. So here you have these kings on the playing field here, but no matter what we do, we have goodness and badness, and if we don't have the Holy Spirit with us, then we're struggling. And that's kind of the key here. And the last point I want to make is you're starting to see God work through special people. Zechariah was the latest one. And he uses people, unknown people, people from small families, poor people, people that you just wouldn't think of. He also uses rich people like these people, the kings and stuff. But that's what's important. It doesn't matter your economic status. It doesn't matter your happiness, your poorness, your richness, whatever it is. God uses you the way he wants to get things done. And there's a plan, which as we read through this, there is a plan for this. And that's the greatness of all this. That is your day 169. So have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.